let's talk secondaries. So today, guys, we'll be talking about secondaries for the engineer and how to use them in man versus machine. Because there's only 3 secondaries for the engineer to use, this video will be pretty clean and cut dry. So without further ado, let's just get into the first weapon, which would be the pistol. The pistol is an extremely simplistic weapon for the engineer, as it's unlocked immediately from installing the game, and for man versus machine is probably the worst choice right off the bat. Firstly, its damage ranges from anywhere between 8 to 22, or 45 if you count a critical hit, and its magazine is 12 rounds with 36 in reserve. Though mentioning rounds for the pistol is pretty much useless when considering how versatile the weapon actually is. In short, it's not. The weapon can only barely aid the engineer's self-defense, which even then the wrench can do much easier considering that its high critical hit chance will mostly knock out any spy that decides to come near your sentry gun. Not to mention, if you're dealing with anything bigger, chances are the peas that are being shot from the end barrel of this gun will just do nothing but at most create dents. The ideal way to use this weapon is just don't. Overall, it's probably the worst secondary for the engineer when it comes to man versus machine. So, all my advice that I can give you is just do not use this weapon under any circumstance. Even if you want to show off that shiny new professional kill streak, just don't, please. You'll aid your team so much more if you just don't equip this weapon. While the pistol may just be bad for MvM in most uses, the next weapon, the short circuit, presents more usefulness for the engineer. The short circuit allows you to destroy any projectile that heads your way at the cost of 15 metal and 5 metal for any single projectile that is destroyed. Now, the stats of the short circuit make it seem obvious in what you're supposed to do with this weapon. You're supposed to use it to aid your team by destroying any projectiles that come your way. And you'd be absolutely correct, that is the intended way to use this weapon. This weapon does a great job of keeping any spam away from your gun and you, and it can also aid your team as well. The best example of this is on the map Rottenburg, when you're going against the giant robot Sir Nukes-a-Lot. When you destroy his cannonballs, you take away his main ability and make it easier for you and your team to destroy him. While these may all seem good, it fails in comparison when compared to our next weapon, the Wrangler. Now, the Wrangler is actually one of my personal favorite weapons to use for the engineer, and for good reason. It allows him to take manual control over his sentry gun, while also producing a shield that blocks 66% of all incoming damage. With this, repairs are minimized to 33% of their effective rate, and the gun becomes disabled for 3 seconds after being unwrangled. There's actually a hidden stat of the Wrangler, and that is that it passively increases your firing speed. So to give you a good idea, a level 3 sentry gun fires 8 bullets every 1 second. Upon wrangling the gun, you will gain a passive 25% increase in firing speed. This means rather than firing full bullets every second, you'll be firing 5. Keep in mind that these firing speeds are only estimates, but it should give you a vague idea on how much it increases the sentry gun's firing speed. With these stats in mind, the best way to use the Wrangler is for targeting large robots. Because of the fact that you have an increased firing speed bonus, you will be doing a majority of the damage to the robot and will get its attention. Thus, it will focus all fire onto the sentry gun. When it does this, the shield can help tank most of the damage, and can help your teammates avoid any of the splash damage that comes from the robots. So overall, the Wrangler is the most versatile weapon due to how much it aids your team compared to any other weapon. While it may seem small when compared to deleting projectiles, it's better to have those projectiles not even go towards your teammates. And I need not bring up the pistol for obvious reasons. Alright guys, that wraps up the video for today. If you'd like to see more content like this, leave a like and subscribe. And show your supports by leaving comments below. Anything helps motivate me to get more content out like this, so I love entertaining people about engineer and how to play him more effectively. Other than that guys, that wraps up the video, so I'll see you next time.